Hello, and welcome to the Caine Interviews. I'm Shannon Caine. On today's program, we'll be talking with Dave Bowman from the Fayetteville Optimist Club. Optimist International is a civic organization dedicated to helping youth, as well as making many other positive contributions within the community. We'll be learning a lot more about this organization and its goals. Mr. Bowman, welcome to the show.
Well, hey, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the organization. Let's begin with a general an overview of Optimist International. What does this organization do?
Well, the whole thrust, as you can see from our banner here, is bringing out the best in kids. When we say kids, we're talking young people right on up through the elementary, junior high, high school age groups. So that's where the thrust of our programs lie. But the program has been going for years and years throughout the country. We're just a brand new chapter of that. We're the newest civic club here in Fayetteville.
Okay. What is the Optimist Creed?
Well, the creed is something that we repeat every meeting. Each week we have a meeting. When we end the meeting up, or in some chapters they'll start it out with the creed. But it's a listing of things that we believe in. And it helps us to get through the day. It starts out saying, promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. It's hard to do that sometimes, but I know personally it's been incredibly helpful to me and to other members of our Optimist Club when our optimism is being tested, if you will. Sometimes that happens. But the whole concept is, part of that is to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. We know people will make mistakes, but on the other hand, the concept of optimism is to get out there and make things better because of the way you think. In fact, General Colin Powell, back when he was in the military, said optimism is a force multiplier. And the idea being that if you think you can do something, it really helps out. And that's what we try to do in all the programs that we work with children in the different programs around the state and around the country.
Okay. Well, now here's your chance to brag a little bit. Tell us about some of the achievements of Optimist International.
Well, Optimist International, the main thrust that they're working on right now is minimizing certain forms or eradicating certain forms of childhood cancers. They made significant advances through Johns Hopkins University Medical Center in making some of these kinds of detrimental diseases to go away. And certainly we've made significant progress in that area. One of the advantages of having the Optimist Club, the way it's structured is that a club can choose what particular programs to work with. And that's what we're doing as a new club here. We don't necessarily do what the international organization tells us we have to do. Mm-hmm. What they want us to do is find what really fits in Fayetteville, where the young people in Fayetteville need the most help, where we can be the most effective, and then we turn around and tell them what we're doing, which is, I think, a very important part of that. So if we have an activity here, we don't just raise funds and send it somewhere. The money, if we are raising money for a program here, such as our tutoring program, the money's going to stay here. And then if we choose to send some of that certainly to the national, which we want to support the eradication of cancer, especially amongst youngsters, then certainly we can choose to send some money that way as well. But it's all up to the organization.
Right, so each individual club has a certain amount of autonomy in
Right.
the projects that they choose to
Mhm.
work with, and the money stays locally in a lot of cases.
That's right.
And so, yeah, it sounds great. You mentioned the tutoring program. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Well, since we're a new club, one of the things that we wanted to do was come up with something that would be of a significant benefit to the young people here in Fayetteville. So we took a look, and we went to the high school here in Fayetteville, and Dr. Karen Hodges, who is an employee at the university, has been our project person for this program, and she had been in contact with and performed a survey with the high school teachers and counselors and said, where would you like support? Because we're thinking a tutoring program would be a good idea. There are tutoring programs out there, but quite a few of those do cost quite a bit of money. But on the other hand, we wanted to be able to provide this service for free. So what we've done is, based on the input from the high school, they said they needed the most help in areas of math and chemistry for the high school students. So what we're going to do is we're creating a peer tutoring program. In other words, it'll be a high school student who already knows and understands the processes that are going to be needed for academic success. They will then be working with other high school students that need the help. And peer tutoring programs have been proven to be very, very effective systems. But it'll be free for the student who needs the tutoring, and then we're going to pay an hourly pay to the high school student who is doing the tutoring. And then we're partnering up with various adults, retired educators in the area that may want to come and help out. They don't necessarily need to be a chemistry or a math whiz, but certainly to be a part of helping and working with them and knowing when to ask and when not to ask for help. And then we're partnered with the city library. Georgia Kuntz over at the city library has been very supportive, and several of the other people over there, in providing a place for us to meet. So next fall, we'll be meeting in there. It'll be an after-school program, and so it won't impact students during school time, but we'll be able to provide that service to them. We've just now gotten, Dr. Hodges indicated that we had received a $3,000 grant, which we're very impressed with, which is going to provide us the ability to make that first semester work without a problem. And then from there, we're going to be continuing. We want, as far as long-term is concerned, we want to have a signature type event. In other words, this tutoring program, or it may become something else, but we want people to know that if they need help in this area, oh yeah, there's that Optimist tutoring program. And again, the other part of that is we can't do it by ourselves. We need the help from the high school students. We need the help from the teachers and counselors to identify and suggest and recommend that they come in and work with us. We need the help from the library. We need the help from the volunteers that'll come in, and we may be able to pay the volunteers as well, depending on how much money we get through the grant system. So all in all, people that might ordinarily be falling through the cracks, we're hoping to be able to pull them up and give them what they need so they can then go out and be much more successful once they get out of high school.
Great. Okay. Now, you mentioned that this is a new chapter of the Optimist Club in Fayetteville. How long has the Fayetteville Optimist Club been active?
Well, we've been active just over a year. Okay. And at this point, we're certainly, among other things, still doing recruiting. We would like to have more people come in and join us as Optimists. We're not really just going out willy-nilly and inviting people off the street to come in, although I did talk to you on the street, but that was a different situation down on Dixon Street during the Spring Fest. But we want to bring people into the process of paying back. In other words, a lot of us have had successes in our lives, this is a chance for people to give a little bit back and really significantly make a difference. We'll have any number of different ways they can contact us if they're interested in participating. We meet just once a week on Wednesdays at the Clarion down here in Fayetteville on 6th Street, 11:30 to 12:30. We try not to impact time constraints that people have, but certainly if you're recently retired, would like to come in and join us, then we would like that. We have a lot of different areas that we work in, different programs, not just the tutoring program. For those of you who like professional sports, we sponsor a 5-year-old T-ball team called the Optimizers. And if you haven't watched a 5-year-old T-ball team lately, it's worth its weight in gold. It's enjoyable. But those kinds of things, we also have an oratorical contest. And in fact, I think you had mentioned you were part of that way back when?
That is true, back in the 70s.
A couple of years ago?
A couple of years.
Okay. But again, it's a chance to get people out there, and there's prizes that are awarded. I was a member of the Rogers Optimist Club for quite a few years as well. They have a huge golf tournament up there, fundraiser for the programs they have. They've contributed significantly to city parks and softball diamonds, whatever they can. Other areas that emphasize support for children. All of those different areas are what we're interested in, and we like to hear from people that do have special needs that we may not have heard of. So it's a cooperate and graduate kind of a thing.
Okay. Is membership in Optimist Clubs open to both men and women?
Certainly. In fact, it's been that way for quite some time. It's also, I'm a little older than your average teenager, but it seems like I just got out of high school the other day. But we do have members that are up in their 80s, and it's an opportunity for people to help out in a low physical impact way, but have some significant positive impact on what they're doing, to give us the advantage of their years of experience to help out and certainly work with the young people. It keeps you young. Okay. I've heard that.
Well, and now you've mentioned the seniors, and now Optimist Clubs are known for helping youth, but can young people themselves be members?
Well, technically speaking, yes and no. How's that for an answer? We do have the opportunity, and we're certainly no, the younger kids do not become actually a member per se, but we do have collegiate programs that are available, and we're looking to see if there would be a core of people here interested within the University of Arkansas that might be interested in helping out and significantly helping with the community and young people. Frequently, if a younger person is listening to a person, say for instance close to my age, they hear things, but they hear it through a filter. If they're hearing it from a college student or another high school student, whatever, then it's closer, it's more palatable, and certainly can be just as effective, if not more so. So yes, we're looking for young people that'd be interested. Okay.
What are some of the long-term goals of the Fayetteville Optimist Club?
Well, our long-term goal primarily at this point is continuous growth as far as membership is concerned, but growth in quality membership. In other words, we'll have a little bit of a training school for people to go through so that they'll have some idea as to what to expect within the Civic Club. It's sometimes difficult to pick that out, but we want to have, again, a group of people that really, really want to help. And we don't want necessarily people to be working on this day in, day out, every day. We just like people to be interested and honest in what they can do, and that's all we can ask for. So we want to have the growth in the membership, but we want more than that, a growth and a maintenance of specific programs to support the young people here in Fayetteville.
Okay. How does one join Optimist International, and what are the requirements for membership?
Well, it's really fairly simple. As far as membership is concerned, we would invite anyone out there listening to come down to the Clarion on Wednesdays. at 11:30 until 12:30, as I mentioned before, and sit in on a meeting. And if you catch me down there at the right time, I might even do lunch for you. So now, if all 16,000 of you that are watching right now come down at once, I may have to do a loan of some kind. But we want to invite people in to see what's going on, meet some of the people that we have there, and then if they're interested in further, certainly we can get in touch with them. They can contact me directly, and they're going to run the credits here eventually. But my cell phone number is 409-6920. They can give me a call. There's a variety of different people out there that can help out. My email address, very simply, the aviation guy, that's all one word, at cox.net.
Okay, and what to you are some of the things that you like best about being an Optimist Club member?
Well, it's hard to tell what I like best. One of the things that I enjoyed immensely when I was with the Rogers Club, one of the things we did is we went to the Head Start daycare centers. And I had a role that I played, better known as the Easter Bunny. And so kids shouldn't be listening to this part, but technically I was the Easter Bunny, and with about a 6.5, 7 foot tall Easter Bunny outfit. And we would go to the daycare centers, and we'd hide eggs, and just watching the kids coming in, it was very rewarding, to say the least. But at the same time, though, listening on a little more intellectual level, listening to some of the oratorical contest and reading the essays that the students are putting together, just absolutely amazing. It gives you a real strong sense of trust in the future. And that's what we're doing, is we're trying to do as much as we can to trust that future, to establish that trust. And I think we're going to be doing that. That's what I enjoy most about it. Okay.
Tell us about the program in which you're offering free airplane rides to kids.
Oh, yeah, I should mention that. We, in another role, if I take off my Optimist hat for a minute and put on my aviation hat, I mentioned my email address, the aviation guy at cox.net. I'm a member of the Experimental Aircraft Association. I'm a retired Air Force pilot and a retired charter airline pilot. We have a program called Young Eagles, and our national director is Harrison Ford, better known as Indiana Jones. And the basic concept is we want to get young people acquainted with aviation in a very positive and reasonably inexpensive, from the standpoint free comes to mind. So what we do, we have a group of people within our club. We have about 90 members in our local chapter of the Experimental Aircraft Association. And a group of them will get together. We're going to do it on June 16th down at the Fayetteville Airport. That's Drake Field. So June 16th is Saturday, the day before Father's Day. And we're going to get down there and give free airplane rides. I'll teach a small class beforehand. I've been working at the community college here for 7 years doing that. So we'll do a class with them so they know what to expect, and then we pair them up with pilots. Pilots donate their time and money, so it's completely free for the young people. They get to go out and fly. Most of the airplanes are two-seaters, so they get to sit right next to the pilot. And sometimes I've heard it said that once they get airborne, they get away from the field. If they ask nicely and there's good weather, some of them get a chance to handle the controls, which you haven't really lived until you've seen an 8-year-old piling out of an airplane. They just flew it. It's safe. We've done probably 1,600 of these flights here in the last 7 or 8 years. Nationally, we've done right at 1.3 million. So it's a neat program, but again, it's a positive program. It ties parents with their kids because we have to have a parent there to sign a release form. But the kids get to go out and it empowers them. It makes them think in a different way.
Okay, what's the age range on this?
The age range, anybody between the age of 8 and 17 can do that, can participate in the flights. The reason we have it at the 8-year-old level is pretty much the younger ones can't see out the side of the airplane or over the front, so we wanted to have them big enough. Also, we want to make sure at that point their behavior is generally well enough under control. We don't have a problem that way. but it's an incredible positive program. If this airs after the 16th of June, we're going to be doing it again in July, and that'll be at the Huntsville Airport. And in August, we'll be doing it again at the Rogers Airport. So those locations will be serving later on in the summer. And if anybody wants to get the specific times and dates and locations, they can pull that up on our website. And that's www.eaa732.org. Okay. Or they can call my cell phone number, which will be listed there, so they can get in contact with me.
And we've been running your email, and I suppose they could also get the information that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the Optimist Club. If somebody out there watching wanted to learn more about the Fayetteville Optimist Club or the Optimist International Organization in general, how could they go about doing it?
Well, you can Google it, for instance, and pull up the web address, and that's just the www.optimists.org, and certainly you can get information there, but also calling in locally and attending one of the meetings, and we can provide the rest of the information. Any questions that they have, we'll be glad to answer. But it's certainly a worthwhile organization, and we really appreciate your help in making this happen.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you.
All right. You've been watching the Caine Interviews. I'm Shannon Caine. Be sure to stick around for more quality programming on Community Access Television, Channel 18 in Fayetteville. We'll catch you on the next show.